Yeah, around there, northern New Mexico.
All right.
Yeah.
What's up? Okay.
What's up?
Cool.
So anyways, we're about to get to talk about some breakups. So the big one last week was Mastodon.
Yeah.
With Brent Hines.
Yeah, we went over that one.
We went through that. Then they got in a fan to fill in on guitar. I mean, he's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's throwing us some stuff. He's really good.
Marky Mark movie style.
Pretty much.
Get a fan in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Brent Hines, he is not, but he held his own. You have to admit.
Okay.
With a band like Mastodon, though, they've been around for a while.
time.
Yeah.
So to fill those shoes, I mean, those are some big shoes, and on top of that, a founding member.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That's rough.
That
That's
takes some.
rough.
That takes some cojones.
Yeah.
For real.
But we've had a couple of other ones for not really great reasons. You had the jaw breakup.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
You know, I saw them cancel their shows. I didn't know they were like breaking up.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I saw some breaking news on YouTube. I forgot the gentleman's name, the creator's name, but wow.
This is a guitarist, right?
Yeah, the guitarist apparently doing some
Not so good human being
Pretty
stuff.
not okay things.
Not okay things.
First off, there's the money. Apparently, allegedly stole some money.
Also,
Cool.
don't take our word for it. Go check their post on Instagram. It has the whole story.
Yeah,
It's like-
Exactly.
yeah.
So
This is not speculation.
there's not speculation. The band themselves put this out after they announced the breakup, and apparently there's some financial stuff using band money for like a certain site for people to sell certain images and videos of themselves.
Oh, yes.
And if you're going to embezzle money,
Don't be dumb.
First off, I
Don't
get
leave a
everybody-
paper trail.
Everybody's got needs, man. Don't get me
Which is
wrong.
fine.
Which
Not
is fine.
judging.
Not my thing, but okay. But second, I think the consensual stuff, like photos being uploaded,
Yeah.
Him
like-
taking photos
while
of
not
our band members.
conscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
and I didn't really get whether they were like, sexual in nature, but still creepy.
Very
Yeah,
creepy.
very creepy.
Still creepy. And first off, it's one thing to take photos of your band. And then it's another thing to take photos of your band when they're not
Conscious.
conscious or awake to
Yeah.
consent to that. And then it's an entirely different thing to allegedly post these online
Yeah.
after not receiving consent for them. And apparently in not great
Taste.
yeah.
All right, 1 second. Bane's Menace, just follow us on Instagram. Huge shout out. Thank
Oh,
All right, babe.
Dang.
All right. Yeah, we got to follow. Watch out for that code.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But my question is, if Mastodon and Brent Hines can reach this split and Mastodon still survive, how can a band like Gel, like I don't know what the division of work is or
Yeah.
who owns what, but you would think bring in another guitarist who isn't a douchebag.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fairly certain that the vast majority of metalheads out there are decent people that just want to make great music.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about this. Gel
Yeah.
is honestly one of my favorite up and comers. I think
Yeah.
even figured.
Yeah,
right?
that was my favorite band for a while.
Yeah.
They were my introduction to hardcore music. Like
Oh.
that was the first band I listened to. So
Yeah.
I mean, but just how the abuse maybe they went through, how
yeah,
True.
bad they
Yeah.
have to be for them to just be.
To just say, you know what, we're done.
And
It's
who's
not
to,
even worth my mental state right now to keep
Mhm.
going.
yeah, and what's to say that was the only thing that he did?
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like
Very
it
true.
could have been the straw that broke the proverbial
That's
camel's
true.
back.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
Well, hopefully we'll see a new, if not a
Revamped
reformed
version.
Gel,
Yeah.
maybe a spin-off band or something like that with most of the original members.
Maybe
Maybe
they-
that's a legal thing. That
call it hairspray.
maybe
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Very-
moose.
Yeah.
hairspray. Boom.
Pomade.
Hello.
Pomade.
Chutney.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're dumb.
Sorry.
Just do a look on
It's got a.
Uncle.
gorilla.
You gotta.
That stuff actually works, dude.
I'm still washing it out of my hair from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we have a similar situation with the punk band Zulu. So Zulu, for those of you who don't know, I think either all or majority African American band.
Yep.
They sing a lot about, left-leaning ideals and stuff like that, just like a lot of punk bands. But apparently, the lead singer has been accused of some very unsavory things involving consent and sex, apparently. They just straight up, instead of playing the PR game, they said, we don't accept this, we're going to break up.
You gotta head to that. I mean, there's
honestly,
right? There's like a zero tolerance
exactly
for some that kind of behavior, right?
Exactly. And especially what they're singing about. I mean, this is an unapologetic left-leaning punk band. They sing about things that that are very important to society today, especially revolving around consent, but in their community, in the Black community especially, just the misrepresentation in society and stuff like that. And to have something like this happen where the lead singer, it's one thing for the guitarist, right?
Yeah.
But when you have the lead singer, the literal face of the band, committing allegedly these acts, I don't know, man.
Speaks for, we talked about accountability a few episodes back.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the person in question, but accountability of the rest of the band members, knowing what they've been trying to represent. Knowing they can't continue representing in that sense, like maybe a rebranding, but knowing that accountability of knowing like we can't continue on
for sure
as we are with the same name
if we're trying to promote a certain agenda, like we can't have that also being tied with our name.
That could be very damaging for their brand. I mean, every band has a brand.
Yeah.
And I think this would be very damaging. But at the same time, there's two stories, two sides to every story.
Yeah.
Obviously, if this person did something that broke the law, they have their date in court. But I think it speaks to what the band knows to so quickly just break up. And either trying to preserve some sort of, I guess, what their meaning is, like as far as what a band they're going to be, what kind of morals that they want to have and things like that. If they knew something, maybe they know a lot more than is out there. But apparently this gentleman put his own I guess statement out. I haven't had an opportunity. This happened just within the past day or so. Apparently came out with their own statement. I honestly am not one to judge. If something happened, obviously it needs to be investigated. If this is a circumstance where this something was misunderstood, or maybe there's an allegation that was baseless, I mean, this person has every right to defend themselves. But I think it speaks a lot for the band making that decision to say, hey, we can't continue on like this.
It's interesting how, I mean, my background's in communications and public relations, and so like crisis communications has always been like a thing. And it's interesting how these punk and hard rock bands are doing something right that I think just in general organizations and companies can take a page from. Because like you said, a lot of times it's just, let's just hide it. Let's just bury it. Let's just try to, get to the news next cycle. We'll work past it. We'll just do a quiet breakup and just say, hey, this person's whatever, like try to make shit up. And that's not cool. It's not cool because like to your point, Groompy, like there needs to be some sort of accountability. Somebody messed up. And what better way to signal to your fans, to the people that like, that follow you and that support you, to say, we're going to take action because we care.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like that to me should be a lesson for.
You should have to stand for something.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, we talked about accountability and what Dave Grohl did, when those the stories started coming about his infidelity.
Yeah, man, that was a while ago.
That was a long time ago.
In rock music years, that's like decades.
But I mean, for him to like own up, he released his video. He didn't let the tabloids tell a story. He just said, "Yeah, I fucked up. I did this. I have to deal with it, and I'm dealing with it. And moving forward." to me, that's like, you know, gold in terms of communicating to your audience. Like, I'm taking accountability, or for Zulu and Gel, like we're taking accountability for our band members, and because they care. Yep. And to me, like that is the most authentic and probably the most,
especially if they care about their message.
Exactly.
Image they're trying to portray, the, you know. So
yeah,
we've come a long way from bands like, was it Lost Prophets with their lead singer Ian whatever, who's just horrible. But he's been convicted of, he's been convicted of just horrible
stuff.
We've come a long way from bands kind of, did they know about it? Like, they had to know something at some point. I do as a creep, but we've come a long way from that. Maybe Morrissey. That was or Morrissey, to now where bands are like, no, zero tolerance for that kind of nonsense. We'd rather start a new band than have to deal with your nonsense. And I think that's a great thing.
Like, associated with a band that person's also associated with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough.
That is very true. And you know, there's other bands like Escuela Grind. I think we featured a couple of their songs.
Oh yeah.
You know, not rising to that level of, you know, obviously victimizing somebody, but apparently being rude to people. You know, I honestly don't know what to think. I mean, rock stars are rock stars, I guess, artists. But you know, you have one thing where you have somebody allegedly, you know, making other people feel unsafe, or making somebody feel like they're not as valued. That's one thing. And granted, nobody wants to be made feel unsafe, but there's a big line when you start victimizing people, like the Lost Prophets guy. There's a huge line, I think. And I'm following the Escuela Grind thing only because I want to see kind of what the band does in response. Because obviously, if this is true, the band has a right to defend themselves. But if it's true, though, what is the band going to do in response to that?
Exactly.
So like, they're at kind of like, I feel it's a similar situation in that there's allegations of things that are not great. But there's nothing to the extent like taking a picture of someone while they're unconscious. Or allegedly assaulting somebody. Those are two very different, I think.
And I mean, we can spend all day like, this one was worse than this one. But wrong is wrong.
Shitty,
you know,
is shitty, and accountability needs to be held.
Exactly. I mean, it goes back to the mosh pit, right? We talk about the number one rule in the mosh pit is if you see someone fall down, you pick them up. Back. Really, the unofficial rule number 2 of the mosh pit is don't be a dick.
Exactly.
Don't be an asshole. Like, just general common sense.
I think we've all seen people overdoing it in the mosh pit, or doing something they shouldn't be doing, rightfully getting their teeth knocked in because you just messed with the wrong person, or the people are just watching out for each other. They don't want this asshole in there victimizing people. And that's a perfect example of, you know, what we see from these groups is, okay, what is allowable here? Is somebody who's in the pit just going a little extra really just needs to get it out, or are they out there purposely trying to hurt somebody?
Exactly.
I think you have here in this situation with the gentleman from Zulu and the guitarist from Gel purposely hurting somebody, allegedly, whereas you have people from a different band who maybe just had a bad night, maybe just didn't like the person, but it's kind of a similar situation, but I don't think like to that extreme. So what does accountability look like then if it's just somebody being a dick versus somebody actually victimizing somebody? So I mean, those are questions for our society in general. But when we're talking about, you know, policing our own communities, how do we do that? I think is a healthy conversation we all need to have.
For sure. Cool. A lot going on. Tell us what you all think in the comments. You know, what's your take, and you know what how do you think accountability in our community is important? You know, I think that's an important discussion.